This video goes over how to use the hardware concerning the brain in Botball. So I have 4 pictures here, and let's go into the first one, which is of the brain of cells, of course. So we have the brain, and going from left to right, I will explain all of the ports. So this one right here, and these two right here, are the servo ports. And servo. Great. And so you put the servo plugs into these ports. And so that means for each robot, you can have a maximum of 4 ports because there are only 4 ports here. And the servo plugs, when you plug them in, they're going to have some metal that is out, and you can see it on the plug, and it's going to be facing to the right. And so make sure when you plug the plug that is the cord, when you plug the cord into the brain, make sure the metal is facing the right. Next up, we have the motor ports right here. And you can also have a max of 4 motors, but most robots usually have 2. So I'm going to say M for motor. And motors, even though there are 3 holes here, you only use 1, 2, because each motor plug is only going to have 2 prongs on it. And so make sure, I'm pretty sure that when you plug the motor in, there's going to be a red wire and a black wire. Make sure the black wire is closest to the screen. And if you're not sure, what you do is you turn the brain on, and when it's on the home screen, you plug your motors in, and then you manually twist the motor. And depending on which way you twist it, these little lights right here that are right above the motor ports will either turn green or red depending on whether you're turning it forward or backwards. And if you plugged your motors in the right way, then if you twist your motor manually in the forward direction of your robot, then the light should turn green. If you twist it forward and it turns red, that means you need to switch your plug around because you put it in backwards. Now we have the sensor ports. We have some digitals right here, and we have some analogs right here. And that digital analog. So these are the digital, and these are the analog. And digital is like buttons, and analog sensors are like the light sensor, the distance sensor, those kind of sensors. And you do use all 3 of the little holes. And so that means that you have to put the sensor in a certain way, so you can't put it in backwards. You're perfectly fine as long as you don't try to force it in a way that it's obviously not supposed to be put in. So this number right here, we have 0, we have 1, we have 2, and we have 3, and that is referencing the motor port right there. So 0, 1, 2, 3, of course, because in coding, numbers start at 0 and not 1. This little S right here, and that's plus minus, that is for servo. So you have servo 0, servo 1, got another S over here, a plus, a minus, and then you have, let's see, servo 2 and servo 3. Great. And of course, this says digital, that's supposed to be a D. And this says analog, of course, that's supposed to be an A, but Botball makes their font weird. So, this is it for the brain right here. This button right here is helpful, but you don't really need it. That's more for coding. But this is the important part concerning ports for the brain. Now, next up, we have the charger. And all that there's to say about this is that this goes in there, that this goes into the wall, And on the back side, there is a port, which you will see momentarily, that the battery plugs into, because this is the charger. And you just plug it into the wall. And these lights right here will start flashing, and I'll tell you what it means in just a second. Next, we have this one right here. And let's see, make this a little bit bigger. These are the ports I was talking about, and these are here the lights. This is, of course, battery. This plug right here plugs into the brain, and this one right here goes right there into the smaller one. Do not put it in there. It does not fit there. You will break it. So when this goes there, these lights turn on. And this says 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100%. And when you plug it in, the lights will start to blink. And if you wait a couple seconds, what's going to happen is that some of the lights will turn solid. Say your battery is 60% charged and you plug it in. This light is going to turn solid. This light is going to turn solid. This light right here, the 75% light, is going to blink. This light, the 100%, is not going to turn on. If they're solid, it means the battery is already fuller than that percent. If it's blinking, it means it's getting there. So if your battery is 100% charged, all of the lights are going to be solid. If it's 90% charged, the 100% is going to be blinking. And all the others are going to be solid. That's how that works. And the final picture is it plugged in. So it goes into the smaller hole, and you'll see the light. This light is on, and this light is on. See, this light isn't on because it's a picture, but really this is going to be blinking, which means that the charge of this battery is between, what does that mean? It's between 50% and 75%. So it's getting to 75, and that is why it's blinking, because it's getting there, but the 50% is solid. This right here goes into the brain. Let's see, I think I actually have the picture of the brain that can show you right here. Yep. So this right here is the plug up here, and what you do is you just put it right in, make sure it's facing the right way, and then there is a little switch over here somewhere, and all you do is you turn it on. That'll turn on the brain. Never be charging the brain and have it on at the same time, and never keep the battery plugged into the brain when it's off, because that will damage the brain. So make sure the only time that you have the battery plugged in here is when you're using it. All other times, keep it unplugged. Keep unplugged. So that will make sure your battery doesn't get damaged or anything. So it's actually really simple to know how to use the charging and know how the brain ports are, as long as you know digital versus these are the digital ones, which are buttons. This is the analog. The little ones right here are the motor, and these are the servos, 0, 1, 2, and 3, 0, 1, 2, and 3 for motors also. And then that goes in there, that goes in the wall, It goes in the small one, the blinking lights say how charged it is, and this goes into the brain. And do not plug this in unless you're using the brain, otherwise keep it unplugged. So that's it.